Welcome to Chat with Jody. I'm so excited to be here and finally get here. This morning has been really, really weird. Like I was saying just a second ago, until for some reason the broadcast was actually canceled. So, and then I almost didn't think I was going to get on in the time frame. Anyways, as moms, we get really thrown in some loops sometimes, or some obstacles, or challenges our way, and we just have to roll with them. And it's learning how to do that. And yeah, so if you're watching this right now, thank you. And grab your coffee or tea and come chat with me. Unfortunately, today I'm not sporting anything. I just didn't have a chance to. With my son waking up through night times and this last night, I really would love to have a coffee, so I'll probably do that shortly after this. And it's like, our days as moms, sometimes they start off a whole lot different than we thought. My son just got up a little while ago because he was up so often throughout the night he needed more sleep. Anyways, today I really want to talk about something that's really important. And I never realized how important it was for my self-love journey. And then I stumbled upon it just a little while ago, how important it is. It's one of those areas that we want to avoid. We don't want to talk to people. We don't want to, there's certain feelings that we just don't want to go back to forgive somebody. And maybe we just don't want to forgive somebody because we don't feel like they're forgivable. So today I want to talk about forgiveness. And not just of others in our life, but for ourselves as well. Forgiving ourselves for things that we've done in the past. We are no longer that person. So let's get started. I hope you have a coffee or tea or whatever you drink, and let's just chat today. And so, forgiveness. Why is it so important for our self-love journey? It is so important because when we hold grudges, we don't let go of something, it can really run a lot of our life. It's where we start beating ourselves up, especially if you're not forgiving yourself for something you've done in the past. So you're constantly judging yourself for the person you used to be or the things you used to do. And I actually said in last coffee chat with unconditional love, I try for parenting is to love my child as they are, not their actions. So it's a really good thing for ourselves too, is not love what we did, but love who we are. So really forgiving ourselves for the things we've done in the past, the things we just did yesterday, can really set us free and skyrocket us to an amazing place. And holding grudges and anger or frustration towards somebody or yourself can actually keep you stuck. And we're on week 5 of the telecourse right now, the Journey to Empowered Mothering. And anger, I'm not going to get too much into the emotional scale, but anger can actually bring us right down to guilt. And that is why so many of us get this mommy guilt when we yell at our kids, when we get angry, because there's this whole, we shouldn't be angry. So letting go of these angers and grudges so we can really become empowered parents and really loving from a place of unconditional love for ourselves and for others. But if we hold on to all these things that aren't serving us anymore, we will stay there. You won't go any further. So if you're feeling stuck or just really not moving at a place of your life, look where you could forgive. Look at yourself. What could you forgive? What are you still holding on to? What stories are you still telling yourself that you've done in the past? Where can you forgive? And really take some time to think about it and forgive yourself. So one of the things I love to do these days is add meditation and journaling. It's one of the best combos out there, I personally find, is where you just meditate 5-10 minutes. I actually use a lot of guided meditations, just because my mind can wander. If you like to just do it, or you don't have a guided meditation, just listen to some or some nice peaceful music. YouTube has a lot of things on it too, and every time you have a thought, just breathe through the thoughts and come back um, to breath. So what I've done, and if you're like, I don't know who to forgive, or I don't know, or maybe you do, and you're like, oh man, I have to do this, and or maybe you really don't want to. Resistance of forgiving. Like I said, this can be a really tricky area. We don't want to have to feel those emotions. And I actually want to make a quick little note, and I've said it many times before. Forgiving somebody doesn't mean we're forgiving what they did to us. We're forgiving the person. So it's opening up those windows, the doorway, the ways of love to them. When we hold grudges, we don't forgive, we are mad at somebody, we stop the love, the flow of love to that person and from that person, and really just in our life in general. So that is why it's so important for self-love. Our self-love journey is to really just forgive. And again, it's not their actions, but it's the person. And you don't actually, if somebody's very hurtful, like physically abusive, I'm not saying and go hang out with this person, but love them from afar. You can love them from a further place. And you don't have to be near them if you're not ready. Like, that's not what I'm trying to get at. It's just getting to a place of forgiveness for people in your life. It even could be as like, I forgive myself for allowing this person to hurt me. Maybe you're holding that on. We a lot of the time feel that people hurt us in our life is because of ourselves. So also forgive yourself through the process. Now, getting back to the combo of meditating and journaling, this is super powerful, and I'm going to share why. So meditating for 5-10 minutes, it's as simple as that. I know with moms, we're busy. I had this hard time of fitting in meditation. I knew how important it was, yet I wasn't doing it. And then I realized, well, I have time for TV. I have time for reading. Reading is more important to me than watching TV, but I watch TV and I work out. That one's still a little harder to fit in sometimes if I'm really tired, but I have all these other things that I'm doing. Meditation is just as important. So it's just finding, and for me, maybe I was trying to meditate too long. So I find that even 5-10 minutes of meditation in a day, or I even try and break it up throughout a couple times a day. You don't have to do it very long. Is just finding those little windows. And sometimes it might work better for you in the morning, or mine works better at night, just before bed. And then I usually have another one probably in the evening right after my kids go to bed. That's pretty much when I do it, and sometimes throughout my work day as well. So we meditate, and then you pull out your journal. Now, if you have this thing about journaling, negative thoughts about it, you don't even have to have a journal. You can just have a pad of paper. You just need writing. You need a place to write. And I personally feel pen to paper is so much more, it's just, you're physically touching something instead of typing something. But that's just me. If you feel like you like to have an online journal where it's all on your computer, do what feels best for you. For some reason, I like pen to paper for even my day timer and things like that. So grab a pen and paper or have something on your computer. And don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about punctuation. Don't even worry if the words, fully make sense. Just start writing. And what I do is I usually ask myself the question, what do I need to know today? Or I usually, if I have a question I'd actually like to have answered, I ask that question. And you can even ask that before you start meditating. And then re-ask it as you write. Like you can write it down on your paper or in your journal, and something might not come up to you for a while. And it might just be blank. It's like, I have no idea right now, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. And just keep writing. Breathe. And some days you might have nothing come up. I'm like, okay, so far nothing. And then all of a sudden I've done that before where I've said it before. I'm like, okay, I guess nothing's going to come up. And then I have stuff spilling out. Spilling out. So I want to share a fun thing with you. And the reason I'm sharing my whole meditating journaling combo is because I actually had this happen with forgiveness. So I was meditating and I asked myself the question, what do I need to do right now? What's the next thing I need to do? And I wrote down forgive. I was like, oh, because I've been on this journey of forgiving, and I did a lot of letter writing and things like that. So I'm writing and I'm like, okay, so I'm listing out everybody in my life. Nothing's really happening. I'm not feeling anything. And that's a good sign that, there's no emotion there towards forgiveness. And then I paused and I thought of my grandpa that passed away when I was in grade 5. And tears just came streaming down my face. And I knew I was onto something. I realized that I never forgave my grandpa. It was a really hard time. I was in grade 5 and I loved him so much. So I had to go through that process of forgiving. Oh, and actually, I'm just going to drop back. Sorry for a quick second. So with the journaling, I actually wrote down, I'm like, how do I do this? Because I'm like, I'm not sure where I need to forgive or who I need to forgive. So I asked, who do I need to forgive? And I wrote down, write your little heart out. So that's when I wrote everybody out I knew, and until I figured out who it was I needed to forgive. And that was a really powerful exercise. And then I wrote to him about all my feelings. So if you don't know if you need to forgive, or if maybe you do and you know exactly who, write them a letter. And this is something like, if they're still living, this is not something you give them. If you've never done letter writing before, please reach out to me and I'll help you. I do this with my clients all the time. It's really a great way to release emotions and really just kind of wrap it up and be done. Having it in your body. Because those thoughts that I had that I wrote down, my grandpa, I was carrying since I was 12 years old. 12 years old, I was carrying those in. I had so many fears attached to that. And it was a really big eye-opener for me. Somebody I never ever once thought about forgiving, but I needed to forgive. And I needed to forgive myself for closing myself off at 12. There was a lot of emotions I stuffed down at that age. And that's where I really started keeping my feelings in. So really just look at it. And I encourage you today to try the meditating writing. And it can just be as simple as that, asking yourself, what do I need to know today? And it's really incredible to see where it goes. So I know that's not part of the forgiveness, but it might lead you on that road to forgiveness. So take a deep breath, exhale, and really think, who do you need to forgive? Where do you need to forgive yourself? We're moms. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of things you're doing. So love yourself gently through this process. If you're looking like, oh man, I've been beating myself up for something I did, whatever, however many years ago it was, breathe through that and know that it is okay. It's amazing, actually. You've now discovered that you can forgive yourself. It's really an a powerful, sorry, tongue tie, powerful gift to give yourself. So just look at where you need to go. And it can be really hard. It can be messy. Our emotions are really, can be a messy thing. So if you would like help through this process, please reach out to me and we can do a strategy call, see where you're at. So please reach out to me and I'll put the link below this video. So please reach out to me if you would like some help through this. It's even writing letters to yourself about everything that you forgive. And if you even, maybe you know that you're not forgiving yourself and you don't know where, that's where you pull out that meditating again and journaling. It's a really powerful, I really, really encourage you to try it. It's really powerful. If you haven't been doing it already, it's a really amazing thing. And I forgot to tell you why it's so powerful. Maybe you already figured it out, but when we meditate, we really just quiet our mind. We quiet things down so we can really tap into our inner power, our inner person that hasn't really had a voice lately. And then just writing it down really just, it gives us a voice. It's a very, very powerful thing. So anyways, I hope this helps. And just remember that forgiveness is a really big, could be a really big obstacle in our self-love journey. There's a lot of things that we might be doing in our life that are tied to something we're not forgiving. Like I said with my grandpa, I had this ginormous, like super enormous, like fear of death and dying. And it's not fully gone, but it's a lot better than it was after I did the forgiveness part of my journey. So it's really incredible what can happen when we forgive. And that love that we have for ourselves can get even stronger when we forgive ourselves and others around us. So happy forgiving. And next Wednesday is Valentine's Day. Now, maybe you celebrate, maybe you don't. We don't make a crazy big deal in our house because love is every day for us. However, it was actually a milestone in my husband and I's relationship when we actually first became official on Valentine's Day. So just out of fluke, actually. We were going to couples yoga. So we do it more for our celebrating our union of love together, not just love. So I really encourage you this Valentine's Day to make you one of your own Valentine, be your own Valentine. Have a little date with yourself. Maybe it's not on Valentine's Day, so you can spend it with your husband or friends or your children, whatever way you celebrate or don't celebrate. And I actually do me nights on Tuesdays. I'm back to Tuesday nights because my husband's out hanging with friends. So it's my night to do my thing and to just be me and not worry about the house and do things. So I really encourage you to be your own Valentine this year and just love yourself so much through this journey of motherhood and self-love and all the things in between. You're amazing and you're doing a wonderful job. You deserve your love too. All the love you give everybody else around you, you deserve it too. Yes, you do. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day and weekend and Valentine's Day. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.